What's going on, everyone? I hope you're all having a fantastic week. Today, we've got some news stories in the world of tech and PC gaming, as usual. So, first up, The Witcher 3 developers, Projekt Red. I was talking about this yesterday, about how they delayed The Witcher 3 next gen, and obviously all the issues that Cyberpunk 2077 had. And they have actually sort of responded. During an earnings call yesterday, they posted a response more or less to what was circulating around on the internet about the next-gen version of Witcher 3 being in quote-unquote development hell, as they call it. So they've responded back to that. Also, NVIDIA has launched their Restocked and Reloaded campaign for the RTX 30 series, announcing that there's going to be a lot more inventory available to you guys if you're looking for a graphics card. So let's get into it. But first, today's video is brought to you by Primetekmart.com, where you can save money on software like Windows 10 Pro licenses for under $25. They've also got Windows 10 Home for under $20, and now Windows 11 Pro you can grab over on Primetekmart.com. They've also got Office 2019 and the new Office 2021. And if you want to save an additional 20% at checkout on Windows 10 or any other software, go ahead and click Buy It Now, and during the checkout process, go ahead and put JP20 in and apply that coupon, and that'll give you 20% off of any software that you happen to pick up over there. So for Windows 10 Pro, you can see it dropped our price down from $24.46 to under $20. So be sure to hit up the links down in the description below, and don't forget to use my coupon code JP20 at checkout for an additional 20% off. First up, I want to talk about The Witcher 3. Like I said at the start of the video, we discussed this yesterday, but to quickly recap, the next-gen version of The Witcher 3, which is supposed to have ray tracing for next-gen consoles, as well as the PC, was delayed indefinitely. And this is not the first time it's been delayed. It was originally announced in 2020, and then it got delayed in late 2021, and it was supposed to come out in the second quarter of this year, which would be now, more or less. And it was delayed again, and this time indefinitely, as they moved the development of the game in-house away from Saber Interactive, which is based out of Russia. Which, for obvious reasons and things going on in the world right now, some people hypothesize that maybe they didn't want to do business or be seen to do business with a Russian-based studio because of everything with the Ukraine and all of that. But it's all just kind of conjecture, honestly. But the big takeaway from it is that The Witcher 3 Next Gen was in a development hell, and CD Projekt Red, during an earnings call yesterday, where they also announced a DLC, or an expansion, I should say, for Cyberpunk 2077, which will be coming out next year in 2023. So that's something to look forward to if you're into that. But here is the response during the earnings call yesterday from their Vice President of Business Development and board member, Mikhail Novakovsky? I don't know. W's are pronounced as V's in a lot of Eastern European languages, so it would be Novakovsky, I think. Possibly. Anyway, here's what he had to say. Here's one comment I actually wanted to make. I've been looking at the headlines that popped up here and over the internet, and I've seen one that really drew my attention, which is The Witcher 3 Next Gen delayed indefinitely, which sounds like the game is in some sort of development hell. I want to say this is not the fact. There's been a lot of insinuations that we're going to launch in like June next year or something. That's completely not the case. Everything we're saying is we have taken the development of the game in-house. The Witcher 3 Next Gen is going to be finished in-house. We're evaluating our time. That requires a bit of investigation, and that's all we're saying. Nobody's saying the game is delayed in some monumental sort of time gap ahead of us. That's as much as I can say about The Witcher 3 Next Gen, but I really wanted to emphasize that fact. So there you go. That is directly from CD Projekt Red's VP of Business Development. So yeah, it sounds like at least they don't want a negative image out there about their product, obviously, and everything he is saying does kind of sort of make sense. But I do want to give them the benefit of the benefit of doubt. But everything that happened with Cyberpunk and all of that, and now this, and it was already delayed last year. One has to kind of call into question how much validity there is to this. But it also does make sense that they will have to sort of look into, how far along Saber Interactive is, bring their people in-house up to date on that, and then, establish a timetable of here's what needs to be done, and when can we expect to have this done by. And I'm sure to sort of, squash this and even further, we'll probably get an update in the coming weeks, I would think. to give us an actual timeline on when we can expect The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. And he says it's not going to be June of next year, just a random, month and year. So we'll probably see it by the end of the year from the sound of things. And I, for one, will be looking forward to it. And I hope everything's on the up and up. I hope that the game, the next-gen update comes out and it's perfect. I don't want anything less than that. I love the Witcher series, and I hope that they continue to improve on that and Cyberpunk and everything. So let's move on. NVIDIA is announcing their Restocked and Reloaded campaign, where they say that GeForce RTX 30 series graphics cards are now available, and you can get the ultimate play with immersive ray tracing and something in my mouth. Immersive ray tracing, a huge AI performance boost with NVIDIA DLSS, game-winning responsiveness with NVIDIA Reflex, which is pretty awesome. Gotta be honest about that. And AI-powered voice and video with NVIDIA Broadcast. Check back here or directly with our partners for more great options. So, yeah, more or less they're just announcing that there is going to be a lot more inventory. I'm not really sure what is behind this as far as if they've ramped up production in recent months or if they were getting better yields now late on in the life cycle of the RTX 30 series, and we're expecting, and it's rumored, that we're going to get the 40 series in around August or September. So, yeah, you might want to hold off on upgrading, but also we might be back in the same area we were in just a couple of months ago come August and September, and when those new cards come out, of course, everyone is going to be rushing to buy them, and we're going to be dealing with the same thing all over again initially with scalpers and all of that stuff. So even though, inventory is improving, supply chains are getting better, kind of around the world as COVID is starting to sort of relax and everything. So it makes sense that there would be more inventory available. But yeah, it's sort of like a coin toss at this moment. It's like, do you buy now because you can buy now at pretty much MSRP? Or do you wait for the new cards and risk it and maybe not be able to get one of those for 2 years? That's sort of the conundrum you're finding yourself in. So you got to weigh all the options there and just decide how important it is for you to be on the latest card and if it's worth waiting for 4 to 5 months for the next ones. I talked about this last week, is that I relatively easily found an EVGA RTX 3080 Ti for about $50 over MSRP, so not too bad at all, honestly, right on Amazon. And it was for my brother's PC. He was running on a 980 Ti, which I actually have right here. I'm going to be doing a video on this pretty soon. So we upgraded his 980 Ti, which was formerly my 980 Ti, up to the EVGA 3080 Ti, which is a huge upgrade. Minecraft still struggles a bit with the long draw distances and stuff along those lines, which he was hoping would run better. But yes, for some reason, Minecraft is really hard to run. I mean, I don't touch Minecraft, so I don't really know a lot about it, but when I was trying to help him dial in the settings and stuff, there was quite a few hoops you had to jump through to really get that game optimized and running properly, which I just think is it's just poorly optimized. Every other game that we tried ran fantastic. He wanted to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which he had completed, but he had been playing it at like 40 FPS because he games at 1440p. And now he was getting like 90 to 100 FPS with just the volumetric clouds lower, which I told him is like a massive performance impact and does virtually nothing in terms of aesthetic. Also, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, he previously had barely been able to run that game at 40, 50 frames per second, and now he's getting 120 pinned with VSync enabled on the G-Sync monitor. So he's very happy with his 3080 Ti, and I definitely recommend them as well, as I use one myself. If you can afford one, it probably will last you years to come, especially if you're gaming at 1440 or 1080p. But that's all I've got for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Let me know your thoughts on everything down in the comments below, and I look forward to interacting with you, and I'll catch you next time for another video.